a rare look into China's last dynasty, 1870 to 1880.
This picture here, titled "The Happiest Man in China," is just one of many taken by Thomas Child in the 1870s and 1880s, and they are literally a window into the old China. In May of 1870, Thomas Child was hired by the Imperial Maritime Customs Service to be a gas engineer in Peking, or Beijing. The 29-year-old Englishman left behind his wife and 3 children to become one of roughly 100 foreigners living in the late Qing Dynasty's capital, taking his camera along with him. Unlike his contemporary photographers, Child chose to remain in China rather than return home and publish his photographs for instant renown. This meant that his own work went somewhat under the radar. It also means, however, that as a fluent Mandarin speaker and known resident in Peking, Child was able to get access to events and people his contemporaries were not. Over the course of the next 20 years, he took some 200 photographs, capturing the earliest comprehensive catalog of the customs, architecture, and people during China's last dynasty. Child photographed the Great Wall, as well as pagodas, which are the tower-like buildings, temples, bridges, crowded harbors, roadsides lined with stone sculptures, and humble storefronts. He documented the practice of dismantling palace walls damaged by decay or war, and recycling the stones for other construction. In captions, letters, and journals, he complained about dirty streets, insects, and rat infestations. In 1889, Thomas Child returned to England. He remained infatuated with China, and he gave his family home at the outskirts of London a Chinese name that has been roughly translated as Studio of Everlasting Tranquility. He was killed in 1898 when his horse-drawn carriage overturned. His family kept some of his paperwork, but few other records survive. The Stephen Lowenthal Photography of China collection contains the most significant archive of Child's life work, including the largest group of his photographs of Beijing, Child's personal diaries, and the only known set of his original glass plate negatives. Child's diaries provide fascinating insight into his journey to China and describe local inhabitants, cultural and religious practices, buildings and architecture, but also detailed descriptions of the pictures he took. Remember, if it's more interesting, you can find it here. Make sure to like, comment, and hit follow. Thanks, guys.